Hello students and welcome to today's session. Today we are going to deal a chapter from your text Footprints Without Fate, and the title of the chapter is The Thief's Story, written by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond, born on 19th May 1934, is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Lantur, Missouri, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, his novel in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. Ruskin Bond made his maiden big screen appearance with a cameo in Vishal Bharadwaj's film Saath Khoon Maaf in 2011, based on his short story Susan's Seven Husbands. Bond appears as a bishop in the movie with Priyanka Chopra playing the title role. Bond had earlier collaborated with Bharadwaj in The Blue Umbrella, which was also based on one of his works. Let's now go to our chapter, The Thief's Story. I was still a thief when I met Anil. And though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment, because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh. I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, Can you feed me? Can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. He took me to his room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he couldn't help laughing. Later, he patted me on the head and said, Never mind, he would teach me to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about a rupee a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. The story starts from the point where our main characters Anil, a man of 25, and Hari Singh, a boy of 15, meet. Here, Hari Singh is an experienced thief. The name itself is a fake one, which he kept on changing in order not to get caught by the police or his former employers. He is also the narrator of the story. That means the story is told by the thief, that is Hari Singh. Okay, Anil, a tall, lean fellow, was watching a wrestling match when Hari Singh approached him. Hari Singh was low on money as he did not got any chance to rob someone in the past few days. So, in order to rob Anil, Hari decides to get close to him and tries to flatter him by saying he looks like a wrestler. To this comment, Anil replied that even Hari Singh looked like a wrestler, which offended him as he was very thin at that time. Still, he replied politely that he do wrestle sometimes. Maybe he is referring to the fact that he is always on the run or he is always getting beaten up by his former employers for robbing them. Maybe that's what he meant by the statement. Okay, I actually do wrestle sometimes. Okay, Anil asks his name, and at that time the thief actually lies about his name and says that his name is Hari Singh. Then they start to talk about the wrestlers on the ring. As Anil started to leave the place, Harry approached him with his most appealing smile, saying that he wants to work for him. But Anil told him that he can't pay him, even though you want to work for him. I cannot pay you because I also don't have any money with me. Like that, Anil replied. But as a thief, he doubted a second on his abilities. Did he choose the wrong guy? But then Hari Singh asked if he could give him some food instead of payment, to which Anil instantly asked if Hari could cook. Hari lied again and said yes, but in reality, was Hari able to cook properly? No, right? That's why it says that he lied again. Then so Anil told him to come along with him and he took him to Anil's room, which was over the Jamna sweet shop, and told him he could sleep in the balcony because there might be not enough room for another person to lie down. Okay, then that night Hari cooked meal, and upon tasting it, Anil gave the whole food to a street dog and told Hari to go away. Okay, so maybe that refers that the food was not at all edible. Then again, Hari smiled at him in the most appealing way because he doesn't want to leave the place. He want to rob Anil. That's why he kept on smiling at him, and that's why he kept on trying to make things work out between him and Anil. And that most appealing smile made Anil laughing like anything. Then, after he finished laughing, he patted on Hari's head and told him that he would teach him to cook and also to write his name and later to write whole sentences and to add numbers. So, he is going to educate Hari Singh. Okay, Hari became really happy because he knew that once he learned to read and write, he could trick anyone and rob them very easily. Hari liked working for Anil. Not only because he is learning things, but there is another reason. Let's see what it is. Okay, he used to make tea in the morning, then go to buy some groceries. Okay, then he would keep 1 rupee in his pocket every day from the money Anil used to give him for shopping. So he is again stealing some money from the money that is given by Anil for buying grocery. Hari thinks that Anil knew of him, that he is stealing and everything, but he didn't mind it. He was actually fine with it. That was the perspective of Hari. Okay. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check. But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold the book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. And that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that's take all the pleasure out of the work. Well, it's time I did some real work, I told myself. I'm out of practice And if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat upon the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the strings of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. So, as we can understand, Anil did not have any regular income as he used to earn money by doing different kinds of jobs. He did not had any fixed kind of jobs. Okay. And Harry says that Anil used to be worried about his paychecks all the time. But as soon as he would receive a check, he would go out with his friends and spend all the money. The narrator, that is Hari Singh, thinks that Anil used to write for magazines and also thinks that it is a strange way to make money. Then suddenly, one evening, Anil came home with some money and told Hari that he had just sold a book to a publisher. Before going to bed, Anil put the money under his mattress and Hari saw him putting the money there. And we all know that Hari is a thief. Hari Singh got tempted by the money and decides to rob him. He thinks that as Anil has already given him the key to his room, he can easily get in and take the money. From this, we can understand that Anil trusted Hari a lot. Otherwise, why would he give the keys to his room to a complete stranger? Even though he doesn't know Hari is a thief, why would he give the keys? That means that Anil trusted Hari completely. And Hari had not been trusted upon by anyone else in his life. And this was the only thing that was stopping Hari from stealing. Hari knew that it is way easy to rob a greedy man because he has a lot of money and he will notice when the money goes missing. But a careless man like Anil is never going to notice if something goes missing. Then what's the fun in robbing him? Hari thinks to himself. Then again, Hari thinks that he has not done his line of work for a long time. So, anyways, he decides that anyways he is going to waste all this money by spending on his friends. So, I am going to rob him, and by thinking like that, Hari justifies his decision of robbing him. So the night came and the moonlight was coming through the window of Anil's room. Slowly, Hari crawled into his room. His plan was to rob him and leave the city by the 10:30 p.m. Lucknow Express train. Hari then crawled towards the bed and slipped his hand slowly inside the bed mattress. He looked at Anil, who was sleeping peacefully without a single line on his face. And Hari's face had so many scars on it. Maybe while running away from people, he occasionally fell to the ground, which resulted the scars on his face. Hari then slowly took out the knots without making any sound. At the same time, what happened? Anil took a deep breath in his sleep and turned his side. He was directly facing Hari, which actually scared him a little bit. But Hari quickly left the room. He took his hand out of the mattress and he ran away from the room. Okay, and he kept the notes in his pajamas and started running like anything. Then after a while, Hari slowed down and counted the notes. There was 600 rupees in his hand. He became happy, thinking that he could live like an Arab for at least 2 weeks. And being a thief, upon reaching the station, he straightaway went to the platform without buying a ticket. He had always traveled without a ticket. So, what's the difference? When he reached the platform, the Lucknow Express in which he had to go was just leaving the platform. The train was still slow and he could have easily jumped in. But he didn't do so. He hesitated and the train left the station. He stood at the platform, clueless. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help, and I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining, quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I have forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring more than a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be really a big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil. I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway. In clouded moonlight, Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hands towards me. There was a 50 rupee note between his fingers. My heart stank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you'll be paid regularly. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today, we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself, without any effort. So, when the train left, Hari found himself all alone at the empty platform. He did not know where to spend the night. He did not have any friends to whom he could go and stay, because he thought friends will bring trouble than help. And he didn't want to stay in any hotels as it will bring attention to him, as he was only a boy. The only person whom he knew well was Anil, and he just robbed him. So he can't go there also. So he started walking from the station through the market. As a thief, he knew how others will feel when they get robbed. And he says that a greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor showed acceptance, but Anil will be showing sadness when he comes to know about the robbery. And that sadness is not because he lost his money, but because he lost trust that he had on Hari. As walking, he reached the Maidan and he sat on a bench over there. It was the month of November, so the night was cold and it started raining. Hari's shirt and pajamas stuck to his body because he got wet in the rain. Then he started to walk back to the market and sat down under a clock tower. It was 12 at night. Hari checked the notes and they were wet. He started thinking that it was Anil's money, and if he had not stolen it, Anil would have surely given him 2 or 3 rupees to go for a movie. But now, as he had stolen it, he had it all. But he won't be able to make tea or do groceries for Anil anymore. Nor would he be able to learn to write whole sentences ever. He had not realized that. He would be losing all these in the excitement of stealing the money. He knew that if he could learn to read and write, he could earn much more money than these few hundred rupees, and that too in a good way with honesty. He knew that if he learned to read and write, he could surely become a big and respected man one day. So he decides to go back. He knew that it was very easy to steal something from someone, and sometimes it was that easy to get caught as well. But to return the stolen money without that person knowing was not easy at all. So Hari went back to Anil's room and was very nervous. Hari stood in the doorway and saw the moonlight was still falling over the bed. Anil was still asleep. Hari went near the head of the bed and took out the notes. As he was going near the mattress, he could feel Anil's breath on his hand. Hari became still for a moment. He found the edge of the mattress and finally slipped the notes under it. The next morning, Hari woke up a little late because, as we all know, he was working late, right? He was stealing and he is giving back the money and everything, so he slept over. Then, but Anil had already made the tea by himself, and Anil gave a 50 rupee note to Hari, and Hari thought he had been caught. Then suddenly, Anil told him that he had made some money the day before, so he was giving him 50 rupees and also told that he would be paying Hari regularly. Hari became really happy because Anil is not sending him off. But when he took the note in his hand, he saw and felt that it was still wet from last night's rain. He also told Hari that that day he would teach him how to write complete sentences. Hari realized that Anil had come to know that he had stolen money and kept it back. But the great thing that had happened was that he did not let it show on his face or his words. Hari smiled at Anil in his most appealing way, but this time that smile came without any effort. So that's it for today. Thank you.